Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil mursaleen. Amma ba'd. Inshallah, today's short reminder for Ramadan is going to be around Ramadan and our shortcomings. Understand that this Ramadan and the fasting is a worship that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made obligatory upon us. We talked about this in one of the previous reminders that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mandated this fasting upon us as it was mandated for people before us. So it is an essential ibadah, essential worship that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has kept upon us. Just like all the other ibadat, all the other worships, they have rules, they have particular way of fulfilling the ibadah, otherwise it may not be completed. For example, for you to fulfill your wudu, you need to do certain actions, certain ways. If you do not do it in that way, the wudu will not be completed. Similarly, your salah has certain postures and certain enchantments, like the chantings that you have to recite, the surahs that you have to recite. If you do not do it in that way, then it may be that your salah may be either deficient or it may be completely invalid. So similarly, fasting is also a worship from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and it has those rules that go with along with any kind of a worship. And fasting is no different than that, and it may be that we are fasting with a different mindset and not realizing that we are actually breaking our fast, or our fast is not even complete. So learning and knowing these rules help us in making sure that our fast remains intact and complete with barakah, because we don't only want to do the minimum in our ibadah, rather we want to make sure that the ibadah is good enough to be accepted with pleasure in the court of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Imagine if you are writing an exam for somebody and your aim is to complete only 50% of the marks. Then the only thing that you are going to get out of it is a passing 50%. But if your aim is to strive for 100%, and even though you may fall short of the 100%, still the examiner who will be marking, or your teacher who has taught you on this, he will be more than happy to know that you have exerted your level best in understanding the test and fulfilling it completely. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself, he has mentioned for us. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says in the hadith, man yuradillahu bihi khayran, that whosoever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala intends good for, Allah intends good for somebody else. So what does Allah do? Yufaqihu fid deen. Allah will give them the understanding of the religion, the deen, so that they will know the rules and the regulations and the boundaries and everything, and how to implement them in their lives while they're conducting all these ibadat. And when they do that and they do it properly, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sees it as khair, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepts it as good. And when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepts our ibadat for goodness, then there is no being else that matters in the acceptance of those ibadat. We may be deprived due to our ignorance, because we have not taken time out to sit with the ulama or to engage ourselves in the gatherings which talk about these issues. And many a times we may feel that our ibadah, Allah is Ghafurur Rahim, so whatever ibadah we are going to do, it is for the sake of Allah, so Allah is going to accept it. Whereas we may not realize that no, there are rules pertaining to it as well. And so it could be that it's simply just that we have not given it all our strength to learn about the rules. We may be actually nullifying the entire fast completely without even recognizing it. For example, somebody may say like, oh, what is the difference between me breathing in air and me smoking a cigarette? The both air is going in and coming out. What's the difference? No difference. So why should should the fast break. Whereas smoking is a substance. The smoke is a substance. It has particles within it that goes into your mouth, and that invalidates your fast. Similarly, this is why inhalers, asthma inhalers, and all these things which have actual substantial vapors in them, when you inhale them, you break the entirety of the fast. Now it does not matter whether we are talking about the barakah or the blessing and the spirituality of the fast. You have basically nullified the physical fast itself. And then similarly, we may also be losing rewards because of our ignorance about the issues, maybe perhaps due to our engagement in something that is a disobedience. This happened in the earlier times as well, and Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam would guide towards it sometime in the stern matters. For example, with regards to backbiting, Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam would mention that your fast, you have basically broken your fast, or you have fulfilled your fast because you have eaten the flesh of your brother, right? It was not to show that backbiting physically break the fast, rather to show that you have done a disobedience, an act of such a disobedience, that with this act of disobedience, don't expect any kind of rewards coming out from this fast, this struggle, this strive that you are doing for the entire day, because you have already done a very, very heinous crime, and that is for backbiting. Similarly, lying, wasting time. Many of us, because it's Ramadan, we feel mashallah, we need to give our body the best, and we make the best of iftar and everything, but we don't utilize that iftar. We eat a little bit, we feel full, and we just let it be. All these are ways of israf and wastage and everything, which are going to take away the rewards of this fasting. We are struggling really hard. We are striving for a long hours and for a long day. We don't want to lose our rewards for these issues. So we need to know about these issues so that we can prepare ourselves and fix or protect our fast completely. How you can do that? Well, try and quantify and set up a schedule for your own activity. If you have a set schedule for yourself for the entire day, most probably it's going to spur you towards acting out that entire day in that particular order. And by doing that, you will find that you will have more of a fast management. You will be able to manage your day properly. You won't be going into misusing or wasting too much of time. It will reduce your time of futility, and it will increase your productivity. It will bring a soul and meaning into your sacrifice. Remember, Ramadan is going to go. Whether we like it, we sit, we rest, we sleep, we do nothing, or whether we exert ourselves in ibadat and everything, Ramadan shall go. Time will not stop. Ramadan will not stop. It will go. But the regret shall linger. We will keep on thinking, hi, how I wish I could have done a little bit more. I could have done what I had set my aim at, objectives at. How I wish I could have pleased Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How I wish I could have asked Allah for tawbah for the sins that I have committed and shed a few tears for Allah's sake. This regret shall remain. So right now we are still in Ramadan. Set your schedule, set yourself, and achieve these right now, so that once you do, work towards your Ramadan, and then the only desire would be, how I wish I could see the Ramadan again next year, so I can reuse it and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala this tawfiq and the bounty that Allah gives you the next year's Ramadan as well, and so that Allah gives you the ability of using this Ramadan properly. Once you do that, you will love the month of Ramadan. You will love the sacrifice that you have done, and you will love to be subservient to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah give us tawfiq. Subhanallah wa bihamdi, subhanakallah wa bihamdik, wa nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Jazakallah, wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.